Yet is a combination of the right business verticals facilitate the transition to Web3 and that open, seamless, and trustless at Web3. So our mission is to accelerate the people's transition to this open and decentral and this open, fair, and decentralized collaboration scheme. And our vision is to create an easy-to-use technical organizational platform while making blockchain accessible to everyone and empowering personal and professional lives. So some of the key aspects of Metis and others is decentralization. And terminal layers, Ethereum decentralization, as every other of Metis BUIDL. This will be a key or a core principle of the Web3 economy. Decentralization from the very core. Usability. We have a wide ecosystem of dApps like ranging from DeFi, NFTs, oracles, node providers, Web3 complete ecosystem. So it's very easy to not just build your network, but also create or bring it composable products so that they can interact with others in the ecosystem. Functionality. We have on-chain credentials or provide Nubo. We have decentralized almost tokens or group like Chorus. We have ELS wallets integrated within Nubo, offering a lot of interesting those in and EVM wallets. EVM wallets is key because we're having as built in Ethereum knows how difficult it can be to change your code like EVM equivalent. We actually make it seamless, a seamless transition for every dApp that is near in Ethereum or L2 come your Metis. We have currently the lowest transaction fees among all L2s. We achieve this by upgrading the optimistic growth tech to a degree which we store a lot of the data, the transaction data off-chain, while still being fully retrievable and usable in any type of fraud post. Scalability and security. Andromeda leverages Ethereum underlying security also at the decentralization. So this makes it or gives it an edge over other L1s that might be too centralized to a certain degree or might be showing something that really isn't there yet. By being layer 2, we can actually leverage the decentralization, the security, and scale the network while doing this. For deploying in Metis, anyone can deploy Metis with permissions. So you don't need to ask no one, you just have to build your product, launch it. But you want to have close collaboration with Metis Foundation and with the Metis L2 team, we recommend it for projects go through a CEG process. The CEG is our community ecosystem governance process. This is a way for us to help projects build the community, really tell their story to our community and create those connections with the rest of our community ecosystem verified projects. So some of the advantages before the advantages, the process of how to do a CEG, you first have to submit a proposal to our candidate. Our candidate is pretty much the site where all these proposals go to and they get evaluated and go forward. Then you can participate in our CEG live stream. We have a fierce community. Our community is very, very active and they love to see what they are interacting with. So we created this space or these live streams as a way for teams to be able to really communicate with our community and telling how is that your product is bringing something special, what is that your product is really doing, and how people can really take advantage or leverage these benefits. It's not your boat, is the community. So why, another reason of why the live stream, because you can have a Snap Your Boat right after, right after the live stream. And it's important, this live stream facilitates that connection that we just talked about. And of course, if you want to have this closed ties, these knots with the Metis Foundation, with the main projects of the ecosystem, we highly recommend to engage with the community, participate in this type of creating the Snapshot Boat. Every project or most projects that actually come give a clear messaging of what they're building, how they can benefit the ecosystem, or how people can leverage their use cases or their benefits. Like most of them passes. So our community is very receptive, very fierce, but very receptive. So I would recommend and suggest everyone to come and give it a try. After becoming a community ecosystem verified product, then we can start with some of the benefits like marketing and promotional support. We offer for whenever compete the project, or whenever they have like solid announcements, like big announcements coming out, we can have Twitter spaces, we can give them Twitter support, we can also create or building specific narratives and how these can help build our vision on the ecosystem. So we're committed to helping our projects grow. We are firm believers that for the ecosystem to grow, like the project's gonna grow. So it's a two-way street, and we're completely committed to helping our projects grow. And of course, though I already kind of covered this, connected with the Metis ecosystem, not only with the community, but with the rest of the projects. We really encourage the building of composable products in our ecosystem, products that can really interact and be built on top of other existing products or projects. This way, everyone gets benefited, and like the impact is amplified. Needs to be first. There's some of the use cases that we just went over, like tax, which are decentralized autonomous companies, Web2, or Web2 transition to Web3, gaming, NFTs, metaverse, centralized apps, decentralized finance, DAOs, launchpads, realizing, and tokenization as well. So now, 𝘉𝘁 is the second vertical of the Web3 economy, and the second part of this story. First part of the story was Metis, which is this base layer for the Web3 economy that we're building, which provides the right or the adequate scalability and features for other products to be built on top. This will be the second vertical, which is an on-chain credentials platform. 𝘉𝘁 provides, or 𝘉𝘁 allows users to make Web3 identity. They're a Web3 identity system. They're pioneering reputation out. So at the end of the day, in our day-to-day lives, reputation is actually very important. Like for example, if I change my name, my credit score per se, like won't change. But if I change my habits, if I change what I do on my day-to-day, my credit scores might change. So it's the same with reputation. If you have a good reputation, you can get access to a lot of things that you wouldn't without this reputation, and vice versa. So by accumulating or by enabling these on-chain credentials, we allow or we bring a lot of functionalities that were previously only available for Web2 and now available in Web3. We help they do it with non-transferable NFTs called the soul mode tokens. The concept was popularized by Vitalik around April of last year, where it become like a huge state mainstream for those that are that familiar with it. It's a way for people to owning their own credentials. For example, like if I am an Uber driver and I've been building my credentials for years now, what happens if I get in a fight with Uber and they just delete the app? I lost all my credentials. Say for example, if I have been building my reputation in a Discord channel, a Discord server, and being kind of like a lot of outlook, a lot of kind of like popularity, a lot of people are following me, they know how good of a of community building and kind of like skills I have. But if I end up losing my profile, everything, or not even if I go to another community or another server, like all these is pretty much gone. Like I start from zero again. So it's not only that the data isn't yours in Web2, it's not even portable, it's not composable. So here in Web3, it's a way for you to own that data and also to be able to port it from one place to another, because this data, this reputation, can be useful for you in several places, several apps, or even different chains. So you can also showcase this reputation power obtained through achievements, through contributions, through engagement, and that you can showcase this reputation power with these NFT badges and through your 𝘉𝘁 platform, which can also enable access to different things. We're gonna go into that in a second. But it's a way of creating your own chain credentials, showing your own chain credentials, and actually owning your chain credentials. Right. Okay. So, like we said, this is they're non-transferable NFTs, so sold-on tokens, and they enable a lot of functionalities that were previously only available for Web2. Coordinated strategic behavior. For example, quest and event gamification, sold jobs for people that have or only meet specific criteria. Let's say only the ones that have a badge of, like the ones who have a badge of Metis BUIDL Hour. And then with this badge, we could later do sold jobs. Not all like, there's always been this concept of pair jobs or pair dropping tokens, but also it will be, and now it's enabled to also pair drop different types of credentials or permissions that will bring you or facilitate other types of interactions or benefits in the future. Knowledge governance, that's one of my favorites, if I'm honest. Like all organizations nowadays, blockchains, DAOs are built in a way in which both don't go to the highest contributors, but they go to the highest bidders, because this is all coin based. So at the end of the day, who has the bulk, like who can make the bigger fees, or what the highest bids, the people with the deepest pockets, which are whales. So we're steering away from decentralization and coming back from centralization by having a coin governance data structure. By having this contribution base, or by introducing it to this contribution based governance, we're finding a fine balance between investors, between contributors, between all the key parts of the ecosystem that are bringing value. And we are making sure, or ecosystems can make sure, that all these people that are the people that have skin in the game and will look out for the ecosystem's long-term health and sustainability. They also provide a middleware. Number one, this allows kind of like this number one that allows them for account abstraction, for wallet upgradability. They allow for pretty much many of the things that will be included in the account abstraction spec that we'll know for Ethereum. So this is very useful for users and applications, not only because of these the upgradability or kind of like account abstraction, but also they can subsidize transactions for users in different apps. For example, in gaming, this would be fantastic. Like one of the main things that don't allow Web3 gaming to provide that UX that you kind of like Web2 gaming can, is the fact that we always have to be kind of like approving transactions or approving contracts or doing stuff that is just out of the ordinary, it takes you out of the gaming experience. So if gamers or game producers wanted to bring this Web2 experience to Web3, they could do it through this type of features. And also wallet upgradability and the community recovery. These are features that will make just the whole Web3 experience way more seamless for people that may not have years to spend in learning or trial and error with how to navigate Web3. And yeah, well, I discovered the account abstraction where the ally is going to allow for gasless transactions which would be subsidized by a specific DApp, or wallet upgradability, centralized key management, and much more. Third vertical. So this is the third part of the story. Okay, we're going well. Core is that it's a framework for open and centralized collaboration. So Core not only facilitates this onboarding of Web2 to Web3 by bringing structure to organizations, but also they can facilitate the transition from a DAO to a DAC. What will be the difference? Like we said, structure and a lot of functionalities that weren't available previously for DAOs. So DACs are decentralized autonomous companies. They are the same concept of a decentralized autonomous organization, but with functionalities that allow you to contract people, utilizing is the key part. Utilizing that on-chain reputation, they can make decisions based on contacting people. They can make decisions, or they can assign tasks. They can do payments management. They can do a lot of things that we'll see in a minute. But the idea is to finalize that circle or that vision. Is that last part that finalize the vision of the Web3 economy and how all these pieces really go together, kind of like all together for the broader vision. Same, yeah, all this. We're finishing the grow address. And yeah, like we said, contracting, managing and sourcing contributors to assist with the management operations of the organization, treasury management, management of multi-sig controlled treasury with multiple customizable body strategies to manage funds, task management that we're talking about, manage which contributor gets assigned within the DAC, including visibility of tasks. And I love the fact, I'm repeating it, but I love the fact that these are all kind of like this composability that we're talking like minutes ago. It's happening here. Not only by these persons being able to leverage the benefits of the layer 2 as the base layer, but also now Core is being able to leverage all the benefits from Novo and its on-chain reputation to make these informed decisions. And the payment management to be performing custom payroll operations for task-based payments or streaming salary payments. These are the 3 verticals that are currently were being incubated, are still being relatively incubated, but these are the 3 verticals that are live. The base layer, on-chain credentials, and a framework for open and decentralized collaboration. All being together forms a framework for open, decentralized, and trustless collaboration, which is very important. For the 2023, it's not complicated what we're doing. Looking to develop this multi-layer solution set for a Web3 economy. These 3 pieces that we just mentioned complete the circle, but so just the first 3. They're still coming. Decentralization is another one that we are really interested in and comes hand in hand with the first one. Why? Because by creating this multi-layer solution for a Web3 economy, like this solution stack, we are bringing, or if we're creating it, because we are bringing to life all these key pieces, all these layer 2, this on-chain reputation, these framework for open collaboration, and these also meant that the econos or the system, the governance in Metis is decentralized. And the user experience, which will be improved also by certain announcements that will be made soon, and by implementations as the one that Nuvo 1 did for account abstraction. This is the construct. This is how these pieces fall together. The infrastructure layer that we're talking about, if you can think of it as a floor, the platform that gives ability to everything else. Nuvo Cert providing Nuvo 1 middleware and on-chain credentials. Core is the portal or framework for open, decentralized, or decentralized autonomous companies, and all these together form the Web3 economy. And that last piece, or that from a roadmap, the decentralization part, here is how it will play out. DACs are going to be a key piece of Metis, kind of like of the Metis, because open collaboration, like what facilitates for business, like open, decentralized, and trusted like business. So Metis will also be complemented by a lot of businesses that can grow or become DACs. Once they're a DAC, they're managing their business, all good, and they are accumulating RP. While accumulating reputation power, they can also be in PE Metis, both escrow Metis, and grow to be a common. Common is going to be the first tier of governance in the Metis ecosystem. They're going to be the ones that actually come up with the Metis improvement proposals and send them up. And then once these commons have accumulated enough reputation and power, they can grow to become an econode. Econodes are what we're just talking about, these layer 2 on-chain reputation, framework for open collaboration. There is any common that has a sustainable business model and has enough skin in the game will be able to grow to become an econode and actually have a say in the network's governance and how it's being managed. Also, econodes are going to be the one who have the final say on these Metis improvement proposals will be implemented or not. And it's done this way to assure that the people that is going to be making the final call is the people that have the most skill in the game and won't act in only their best interest, because their best interest is the best interest of the network. Kind of like so, I mean, in a sense that they will act in the best interest. And that builder money rewards. For everyone that is interested in building Metis, this is something that you have to know about. It's like our performance-based retroactive funding for ecosystem dApps. A lot of ecosystems have these initial grants, and then they just forget about projects. We think of this as sustainable, sustainable grants. And like every month, projects that are having a lot of network usage, kind of like a lot of volume, transactional volume, or producing a lot of transactions, they get kickback from a 4,000 Metis funds that we give out every month to these builders. Why? To incentivize the growth and development of these products. At the end of the day, the more these products or the more transactions they produce, the more users they bring, the better is for us as well. So we make sure that all these products they're really building for, they're putting the effort, get the support from the foundation that is needed. And these builder miner can be used pretty much for whatever the project wants. Some ideas that seem the way or just being product development, and strategic. These ones show me about yield enhancement, treasury growth, marketing and promotional support, all these things that would require capital or not from the budget of the project, but can be covered just by these sustainability grants or performance-based retroactive funding for projects. And after that, that's pretty much it. This is Metis. This is the vision that we're building. Open framework for open, trustless, and decentralized collaboration, bringing Web2 to Web3. Thank you.